Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022, and tonight I will be sharing true paranormal stories from the web. As always, you can find all the episodes of the show, along with links to social media, ways to donate, and ways to contact me at the podcast page, which is salcedoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions, or topic suggestions, or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or they're from others that you trust. Happy to read them or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And we can schedule the recordings for whenever works best for both of us. So, I haven't gotten any submissions in quite a while, so always happy to share whatever you all can send me if I can. And so tonight I have 3 stories to share. All kind of similar in a way, so that's always neat when that happens. And tomorrow night I still don't know for sure what I'm going to cover. I will figure it out, and so I guess it'll be a surprise. So there we go for all of us, I guess, except for me until the very end. But so yeah, that'll be a fun thing to do tomorrow night. It'll be a topic-based episode, and Thursday will be more news. And then, like I said, I think on Friday, if I can, I will do an extra show to make up for the one I didn't get to do on Sunday. And that will be more true paranormal stories from the web. So thank you all for listening, whether you're here for the live streams or you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds. So I always appreciate that. And looks like everything is going okay, so I think that means I can get to the stories here. So let me see here. Let me get to the file. Also, again, as I always say nowadays, I do live in Michigan, and I do not live in a studio. So you may hear sounds from the heater turning on and off. So, but anyway, let's see here. Okay. All right. So this is the first story. It says, back when I was around 7 years old, I was on a train ride along a creek in Pennsylvania. During that train ride along the river, we passed an area that had an old bridge pillar standing out in the water and an old brick road coming off of the hillside to a drop-off where a bridge once was. No one else knew what the road's name was, nor remembered it nowadays. Despite going back to that area for train rides and using satellite imagery, I have not once seen it again, nor found it, and not one person recalls such an area. I hope to one day find it again, and explore and study it. But until then, I call it the Forgotten Road of, and then they say the name of the creek. That's really amazing to me that they can't find it on satellite images. I wonder if maybe there was some kind of a vision, if no one else really saw it, or if they even multiple people did, but they didn't realize what they were seeing at the time. It just seems odd that it wouldn't be visible on satellite feed unless it was completely changed. So that's a really neat story because it kind of somewhat borders on that line of, was it paranormal or was it not, or what was going on there? That's one thing for people to disappear, even buildings, to appear and disappear, but that seems like a piece of major construction, or at least the remains of major construction that they can't find again. So I wonder if it was some kind of a time slip or a vision of a different time. Um, Really odd. That one, I thought that was really amazing, that story. So, especially that no one can remember it. I'm wondering, how many people the writer talked to, excuse me, and if they talked to anyone from maybe as far back as it could go. You know, if they talked to anyone that was older, possibly a lot older than them. Um, but again, I guess it just depends. Just a really, I guess you could say a haunting story there. So, and wanted to share that. And that kind of goes with the theme of this other stories I found for tonight. Um, so I will get to the next one here. Let's see here. All right. So this next one says, let's see here. Okay, when I was a sophomore in college, I got a night shift job at a furniture factory. It was easy work and was relatively laid back due to only 4 guys working that shift. My job was to document and load the furniture after it was done. It was close to the end of my shift, close to 5:30 a.m. I had to use the bathroom. The way the plant is set up, the bathroom is about a 3-minute walk. You have to walk outside and into another part of the plant just to get to the bathroom. When I got to the other part of the plant, I saw a tall and skinny man with dark, long hair. He was wearing a striped green shirt. The thing was, he was ridiculously tall, like 7 feet tall. I saw him enter the bathroom when I was about 50 feet away. When I entered the bathroom, it was quiet. This bathroom had one urinal and one stall. I realized how quiet it was, so I looked under the stall to see if I could see his feet. I didn't see anything, so I asked if he was okay. No response. I opened the door, and it was empty. I thought it was weird until it dawned on me that this man disappeared. There's no way he could have gone in the 15 seconds it took me to reach the door and get inside the bathroom. I did my business and sprinted back to my department. I told my lead at the time what I saw, and he shrugged it off, saying I was tired and needed sleep. I thought maybe it was a new security hire because I've never seen him before. I thought and thought about, and at some point, I don't say it well. I think it's I thought and thought about it, and at some point, I thought it was a time traveler, but no. I asked around to see if I saw a ghost or something, but nothing. Nobody saw what I saw. I saw this man for a good 10 seconds before he disappeared. I just don't know what it truly was. I still get chills from it. And that's where the story ends. So I'm somewhat confused if the writer saw the man vanish before they got to the bathroom, or if he went into the bathroom and then didn't come back out again. If the writer could see the bathroom door, and if there was no other doors in the bathroom to get out, which a lot of times there's not, seems like anyway, then it is odd that the figure disappeared. The height of the figure also is really amazing, 7 feet tall. I'm pretty sure that's not extremely common. Not impossible, but still not not super common either. Even people, some of the taller people I've heard of are 6 feet something, not quite 7 usually. Excuse me. So, um, but really amazing if that figure did just vanish. Um, I wonder if this person that the writer was sensitive, and maybe that's why they saw them. or if it was just a one-time thing. Hard to say, especially since no one else saw the figure. But I'd be curious to see, uh, to hear more from anyone that worked in that plant. I'd wonder if there was going to be more appearances like that. It's always hard to tell, especially when it's like possibly a first thing that happens in a place, or there's long stretches of time in between possible activity to where people come and go so much that there's no one finds a pattern or knows that there's multiple experiences there. So, um, but again, you have someone or something that disappeared. So, really odd. And that leads me to this last story here. Um, and this one says, um, I've never posted a story, so I have no idea how this works. Also, I thought I'd mention, I just think it's a nice way to appreciate someone even after passing. So we like to walk around and read gravestones. I remembered this story after watching a podcast about ghosts and decided to share my story. So this year, around the 4th of July, my parent, brother, and I decided to visit my great grandma's grave and past families' graves. Many people in our family are veterans, so we thought it would be nice to visit them. While there, we also went around to find any other veterans' gravestones and let them know how we appreciate their hard work when they were here. We were walking around for a bit. We would walk around looking at graves, and talked about how after 2020 there was a huge boom in how many graves there were now. It's crazy how when we used to go there were never any new graves you could see, and now there were a good amount of newly dug graves. We were reading off really old graves from the 1800s and 1900s that looked like they obviously weren't visited in a very long time. While looking around, we found this super old grave that was standing upright and it had huge scratch marks on the front. I assume from the back of a hammer or tool. We all got really weird vibes from it, and my heart sank for some reason. We walked away and looked around a bit longer. In this particular cemetery, there is this place with flags in a memorial area, and behind it was this new beautiful space with marble looking benches and a large water fountain with an angel on it in the middle. We walked around and read some signs, and then walked back over to the flags. We were standing there talking, and I heard the very apparent clunk noise a skateboard makes on a sidewalk. I looked over my shoulder to see a taller teen on a skateboard. He looked 17-ish, had outgrown, dirty blonde hair, and I believe a blue shirt and pants while wearing black wired earphones. I go to look over my other shoulder to see him go past, but there was nothing. I stopped and looked for a minute to see if I can see where he went, but nothing. No kid, no skateboard sounds. I asked, "Did you see that?" to my parent and sibling, and my parent, also confused, said, "Yeah, like someone on a skateboard." And we just looked around while standing there. I saw him clear as day. He was just looking straight ahead as if he had somewhere to go. just randomly skateboarding in the middle of the cemetery. This cemetery was well kept and not overgrown, so it's not like we would lose him over tall grass or too many trees. We both thought he was a ghost, a spirit. There was no way he appeared and disappeared out of thin air with no trace. We didn't even hear him ride up. Just when he was behind us, we heard a skateboard. My parents says they saw a blue shadow on a skateboard. There's no doubt in my mind that he wasn't really physically there. So tonight when bringing it back up to my parent, we were talking about it and we started hearing rain, but it wasn't raining. It was so out of the blue. So there's my true story of the teen ghost in the graveyard. And that's basically where that ends. That really is an amazing story. I wonder if that family is just sensitive, especially with the sound of the rain near where they were at, which obviously was not in the graveyard at that point, I'm guessing. So, um, really amazing story there. And it seems like if it was someone that was on a skateboard moving through the place, especially if they were still on the skateboard, they would have made sounds all the way through an area. You would have heard them coming and going. And then just to disappear like that as well. And also the blue shadow. I wonder if it was a blue shadow or just the overall sense of blue that the parent got. Yeah, that's a new one. Skateboarding ghost. It really just. I wonder what was going on there because people walking, if they're walking slow enough or whatever, they can be pretty quiet. People can be pretty quiet when they're walking. And then people can be distracted and not hear things. But whenever it's someone that's on a bike or skateboard or whatever, just on something that is going to be making noises and just the sound is there and it's not, that is really amazing that that happened to those people. And again, it's something that that appeared and then disappeared. So really amazing that all three of these stories somewhat had a similar theme tonight. Didn't plan that, but when looking for stories earlier tonight, those are the first three that showed up that were seemed like they're decent ones to share. So so yeah, I don't know. I wonder. I mean, it's possible it was a ghost or a spirit. Um, it's possible it was some kind of with all three of those stories really possibly could be related. There's so many possibilities as to what people could be seeing or hearing that are not just spirits of people that have passed. Um, and I never used to be aware of that for a long time until I started making more and more friends online and learning more ideas about other dimensions or time anomalies or just all different things. Just possibly teleportation, even in some cases. So, but yeah, really, I like the stories tonight, the way they all kind of lined up like that. So, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you all for listening and for being here. And I will talk to you all tomorrow night on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care, everyone.